The number one show in the U.S. on Netflix today is You, simply spelled Y-O-U, starring Penn Badgley as Joe Goldberg, the stalker, killer, and romantic lead. Now, Penn recently revealed that he requested no intimacy scenes for his character on the show, and the reason may shock you. All right, everybody, let's jump right into the topic, and we're going to get right into this article off the jump. Interesting. Whenever Hollywood has this position in pursuit of sexual integrity, I think it's something worthy of perking our ear up and seeing what a decision somebody is looking for when people don't even want to be simulating these scenes of intimacy. Again, it's completely fake, but they don't even want to be simulating it. Is something that does fascinate me. So if we can, we'll pull up the article and we'll get a chance to discuss it here. So Penn Badgley asks for no intimacy scenes in season 4 of the show You. Again, that's a number one show right now. So let's go to some of his quotes. Again, this article is from NME.com. And here he goes right here. It says, Badgley said, I asked Sarah Gamble, the creator of the show, can I just do no more intimacy scenes? I just don't want to. He's saying he doesn't want to be in those types of scenes. Again, let's figure out why. He says, that was actually a decision I made before I took the show. I don't think I've ever mentioned it publicly, but one of the main things is, do I want to put myself back on a career path where I'm always the romantic lead? Here we go, y'all. He said, fidelity in every relationship, especially my marriage, is important to me. Okay, we're talking about fidelity. So he's making the connection with even just these simulated fake scenes on TV that the actors are put in. He's going, there's a connection there that he's making between that and fidelity. And he said, it just got to a point where I don't want to do that. This is somebody who's not even in the Christian faith. He's like in the Baha'i faith. But there's something about when I see Hollywood making a decision about sexual integrity for even in the name of marriage, that he's thinking about the kinds of situations he puts himself, even if it's just pretend or it's behind the camera. He added, before I took the show, it was a question, do I have a career if I don't? Think about every male lead you've loved. Are they kissing someone? Bro, again, he's just talking about, okay, what if it's just kissing? He's like, are they kissing someone? Are they doing a lot more than that? So I said to Sarah, my desire would be 0 intimate scenes. Here it goes. To go from 100 to 0. But then he goes, but I signed this contract. I signed up for the show. I know what I did. Can you hear that? Some of that, I mean, there's a sadness when I was reading this and I go, like, it's like somebody had signed the contract and he feels kind of trapped in this situation that he doesn't want to be in, that seems to not rock with his conscience anymore. He said, I know what I did. You can't take this aspect out of the DNA of the concept. So how much less can you make it was my question to them. So he's just trying to, can I eliminate as much as possible as you are putting together the show? Can I eliminate as much as possible? So he goes, she didn't even bat an eye. She was really glad that I was that honest. She was sort of almost, I want to say, empowered. She had a really positive response. They came back with a phenomenal reduction. So whatever scenes are in that show, he's saying, what I ended up doing, it was dramatically reduced from the initial idea because I put the question forward. And I figured we just have a little conversation about it. Is this something that's been a little bit of attention in mind? So if you're, especially if you're a Christian, you think through the kind of content that you watch. And for me, again, I've had a lot of conversations with people over the years about how do they approach this topic. And you'll find people all over the spectrum. You have people who are like, hey, bro, like, I never, ever, ever watch any show with any type of intimate scenes whatsoever. I mean, they're like, again, on that extreme of almost, if there's a kissing scene, they're looking away, right? So that you have that kind of individual. You have another type of individual who's more of maybe they'll watch shows and maybe they're more of the people who are going to look away. Like they'll watch shows, maybe again PG-13, rated R, and they'll try to look away as the show is unfolding. So even in the Christian, even people who are sincere Christians who are bearing the fruit of the Holy Spirit, there's love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control all over their life from Galatians chapter 5. And then there's still people who will make different decisions as far as the content that they watch. But what this had me thinking about as I considered his desire to have no kinds of these intimacy scenes is how much are we contributing to people being locked into these contracts by being supportive, like you feel kind of complicit. Because I don't know about you, but when I've talked to my friends who are married, who have standards with how their spouse interacts in general, to have a job where people who are kissing you, touching you in a way that would be completely inappropriate in any other context, that's where for me it goes, like, again, I kind of can make kind of grimace. Is it grimace the right word? I think I take a pause real quick and go, like, am I helping people in this situation, or I'm empowering people to be more in these situations that they don't want to be in? Again, you could even Google. I looked at a few. I figured I wouldn't reference all of them, but there's a number of actors who, when they talk about scenes of intimacy, they're having to, again, drink alcohol because they're so uncomfortable about the idea. And that kind of just bothers me. Again, if it was my sister or my mom, again, much more so if it was my wife, I'm going like, no, like, there's no way you're going to continue doing this. And I don't want to support something that has you doing this. And you have this tension that comes in when it comes to, actors in Hollywood. Again, even I just be frank with you guys, especially on the Christian side. There was a scene or two from The Chosen, and I think it's like, at least the character Peter and his wife, kissing. And I think that's where even with Christian content, it gets interesting. Like, how far can you go? I appreciate Penn talking about kissing as a factor in the whole mix. How far can you go before it's, no, this is simulated infidelity. And it's something I wrestle with. As far as, like, I think there's an element of me that, again, that wants to be aware of what's happening in culture, and you watch what's happening, but I also, again, want to be separate from it. I'm going to give you a passage right here to pull it all together for us to look at and consider the implications of this passage, which often, this is one of those passages that has such strong language, yet I've heard it talked about so little. And I'm curious what you think about it when it comes to your life and your journey, what it has to say right here. So let's look at it together. It says, therefore, since we have these promises, this is from 2 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1. Dear friends, let us purify ourselves from everything that contaminates body and spirit, perfecting holiness out of reverence for God. Y'all heard that. Let's go over it again one more time. Let us purify ourselves from everything that contaminates body and spirit, perfecting holiness out of reverence for God. I say this, I look at that passage, and I just want you to think about for your life. What is that? What is purifying yourself from every single thing that contaminates you? What does that look like? What is perfecting holiness? Again, those two words even next to each other. Perfecting holiness in your life. So it sounds like a whole different level that I'm even thinking about. But again, it's in the good book. It's in the book. And again, those of us on the faith side, we think about that as far as implementing that into our lives. And it's always out of that reverence for God. Anyway, let me know what you think. Put it in the comments and share this video so somebody else can be engaged in the conversation.